Hey, welcome into the Sunday Soother. I am going to talk today about the dark night of the soul. It's interesting that it's called that because I've maybe once or twice had a dark night of the soul. Generally, it's dark nights of the soul. It's a period of time. It might be a few days, it might be a few weeks, sometimes even a few months, not necessarily continued intensity, but it describes a period of your life whereby you're just going through something that feels very heavy, very intense. You don't feel your usual self. There's a sense that something is maybe trying to come away, something else is trying to come in, and it's essentially quite uncomfortable. Most people will have some kind of collaboration of symptoms around feeling very tired, run down, depressed, anxious, unsettled, just fearful, panicked. You might get lots of physical symptoms like digestive issues, sleep disturbances, headaches. Some would describe it as an act of awakening, a spiritual awakening of sorts. It is a shedding. It is an opportunity where lots of things are kind of coming to a head, things that maybe on some level you've intended that you want to move through, you want to move past, you want to get to a better place with it, or you want to bring something into your life that hasn't been available to you before. Or it's like a complete tower moment where everything is coming away, and maybe your job is falling apart, maybe your relationship is falling apart, just lots of different things are happening at once, and you can feel very lost, very uncertain, very scared. But also it can happen when everything seems quite steady. To the outside looking in, your life is quite stable, everything is fine. But if you are somebody who tends to look into yourself, self-development, self-growth, you're reflective, you're self-aware, all this stuff just interests you, you might be particularly sensitive, it's kind of just one of those things that happens and you can't do much about it but work out how to carry yourself through these times. Now, every time I've ever had a dark period of the soul, I come out the other side with a gem, something that I didn't have before, a revelation, a new belief about something, a new idea, a shift, some sense of being lighter or enlightened in some way. And that knowledge is what carries me through when I'm in a dark period of the soul. And at this time, I think I've been in one for quite a few weeks now, I would say. And so I'm going to talk you through kind of in real time the steps that I have noticed, the patterns that tend to emerge. And obviously everyone will have their own version of this. These are just my observations and how I tend to work through these tricky times. So the first thing that I find happens is that there's a rise in awareness of stuff that's not working, stuff that you're frustrated by or tired by, or just you've had enough of, basically. So all of those themes or aspects in your life start showing up really strongly, and it feels like it's just too much and it starts to topple. You start to get this feeling that everything in your life that you don't want shows up more. So things, elements, behaviors, things that are happening with relationships or situations with others will be highlighted. You will see more of it, it will get stronger. And it feels like almost it's quite climatic. It gets to this point where you just feel very weighed down by it, and as though I just don't think I can do this anymore, and this is too strong. This can then bring about lots of uncomfortable feelings, maybe around your own success. You might find yourself feeling, oh, why do I always do this? Or why do I always have this? Or why do I keep going around in these circles? All that kind of self-talk might be evident when you're at that point in the journey. So that's the beginning, this kind of doorway in. So the next thing that tends to happen is you start realizing, I'm so fed up with this, or I'm so weighed down by this, that there must be another way. I really feel like I'm so done with this. You know, you just get this almost declaration of I'm fed up with this, tired of this, I've had enough. And what's happening is you're embodying more this sense of there must be another way. And this is a seed that you would have sown before this whole thing started. And that's why it started, because something inside you thought, I really don't want to carry out that behavior or that habit or that pattern anymore. And I just feel like it should be possible for me to get rid of that. It might be something you're really conscious of, or something that is much more under wraps, something that's just been rippling for a little while, and there'll be some subconscious thinking going on around, surely it can get easier, surely it can get better. So this starts to come about, and you almost have this declaration. And as that declaration comes in, so lands this, it's an upgrade really, it's a new way of doing. And this might be described as an energy landing in you. It could also be that on a scientific level, your brain is literally having to grow new neural pathways. Your brain is adapting to this new potential, this new idea that you've set out. So you've got to start some new tracks that give you a new way of thinking about things, or approaching things, or a different amount of courage about something. Some new bridges need to be built, essentially, in order for you to have these new thought processes to carry out action. Your nervous system will be really holding all of this disarray. And so as the energy lands in your nervous system, it is likely to feel incredibly uncomfortable. So you might find that you have this constant stream of anxiety, that you can't quite put it down to anything, you just feel on edge. You can feel the pulsing of this. I tend to get like a pulsing of adrenaline in my stomach, in that solar plexus area. And I just can't, it doesn't matter how much I breathe or whatever, it just doesn't go. It's like, no, I'm busy, I'm doing a thing. And so I have learned, I have to tend to it, but I can't really push it away and get rid of it. So I've stopped trying to do that now when I'm in this period. You might find that you're particularly down, low, questioning yourself, more emotional, more tearful. Or sometimes I find you're tearful, but it won't come. It prickles at the back of your eyes, but it doesn't quite come. It's like you've got to be ready for that release to shift into the next layer. And sometimes it has to build for a bit longer, because you've really got to gather this awareness of what's going on, why am I feeling this, what do I need to understand. You might get digestive disturbances, headaches, all of this stuff will really just be really full on. And I tend to see that even more evidence of what you don't want comes up to bite you. And these are the guides. These are the triggers, if you like. So there might be particular things, thoughts, incidents, situations that spark that emotional response from you, whether it's tears, whether it's just you can feel the wave of anxiety coming up, whether it's anger, whatever it is. That's where you start paying attention. That's where you start thinking, okay, that's obviously where there's a root. I could do with checking in on that and seeing what that's all about, and trying to work out how I feel about that. What are my real feelings and thoughts about that? So you can talk to somebody about that. It can be hard to find the right person. If you have a right person, you're super lucky. You can have those really good, meaty discussions, and someone who really hold that space for you and really hear you. If that's tricky, because sometimes people are quick to try to fix, and you just come away feeling like, oh, that didn't land at all, and I actually feel worse now. So you can journal. Journal is a really good way to just get out everything that you're thinking and to question things. Just free write and see what's coming out. So you have these comfort-seeking behaviours, I would say, as well. You've got these triggers going on, so you're exploring what they are, and this is your opportunity. Otherwise, I think the dark night just carries on and carries on and carries on. It's in our willingness to actually sit with ourselves and look in, and what are the things that are spiking me? What are the things that are making me have those reactions? Are there some beliefs in there that I need to address, things that I think are true? Maybe they're not true. Maybe I believe a certain thing will happen if I don't do things in a particular way. or I'm not safe unless I do things in this particular way. And it's very powerful to write this stuff down, because as soon as you write it, it actually diffuses, it becomes diluted, much more weak. It's much easier to see, oh, I don't know why I was believing that. That's really strange. So during this time, you're also looking to comfort seek. You're looking around for the things that make you feel better, that are soothing, that are supportive. It might be that you tend to yourself on a sensory level, so you're really thinking about things that smell nice, things that are nice to the touch, particular clothing, also things that are tactile. If you've got a crystal or something that you want to hold, I actually have a little stone that I picked up on a holiday a long time ago, and it's so smooth and it's just right in the palm of your hand, and you can just hold it, have it in your pocket to fiddle with. It's just, somehow it's a sensory soother. I think it's just very comforting, and it just keeps you to yourself, keeps you checked in with yourself. So anything like that, you might find that you're tempted to do some oracle cards, get a little bit of guidance that way. It's a really nice way just to get a message, and it can also prompt different conversations you might have with yourself. Tarot cards are good for that too, because you can just do maybe a 3-card pull and asking the questions. What is my situation right now? What do I really want to know about it? And where am I heading off the back of this dark night? Where am I going with this? Where is it going to take me? What's the point? And as you read those cards, you will find it might spark something in you that, oh, that stimulated a conversation I can have with myself, or it's given me an idea or a bit more insight, or it's maybe showed you where those shadows are, where those triggers are. So that can be really helpful. Also, you might pick up a book, or just be randomly scrolling YouTube, social media, and you might just find something that gives you a little nugget of something that you need. And I remember going through a particularly dark time, and I was searching YouTube and came across somebody who then has become a real staple for me, and I love watching her videos, and she always gives this lovely helpful guidance, and she's also written a book. In fact, I can show you the book. So it's called Nuggets of Divinity, and that's the name of her channel, is Jadina, and it's one of those you can read, but also you could read it from cover to cover, but you can also just pick it up and open it anywhere, and you'll usually get a little excerpt of something that is really useful for where you happen to be. So working out what your comfort tools are, and maybe it is to move your body, maybe it is to go outside, remembering to get that vitamin D, and all the things that also will help regulate your mood and support you at this time. But yeah, it's just finding what your things are. You may need to sleep more. You might not be able to sleep more because you've got a ton of responsibilities. And so in that case, it's just finding those tiny pockets of where can I grab 5 minutes and just do some breathing and just check in on myself, and just it is holding yourself through it and knowing that you are going to come out the other side. It is going to be okay. The whole point of this is to bring you somewhere lighter. The whole point is for you to benefit from this journey. It isn't going to keep you there. It's not going to hold you down. Everything always passes eventually. So keeping that faith that it will move through, and that it's some part of you has intended this process in order for you to get this next outcome, for you to have this next experience. So you are on your own side, and nothing bad is happening, nothing is being done to you. I think it's just, as I say, kind of accepting that it's there and riding it out, and being very choosy about who you share this with. Because again, I find sometimes I will share it and people are almost overly sympathetic, like this is such a terrible thing, you poor thing, or we need to do this for you, and I think no, it's fine. I just got to do it, you know. It's okay. It's just a normal thing, something that happens for me. So you'll do your comfort seeking, and then you can start looking for clues in how you feel, clues around you. You might ask for signs say, I'd just love something to comfort me, to know that some aspect of the universe is looking out for me. You know, maybe today just I'd love to see a rose or a sunflower or a rainbow or something. And I guarantee over the next day or 2 days, you will see some reference to whatever it is that you've asked to see. And it will give you that little nugget of, oh my goodness, this is a magical process. It is going to be okay. But you're also going to be looking out for clues in terms of, am I figuring anything out? Am I getting any inspired ideas about doing something? Or am I realizing that some of the stuff that's bothering me is coming to a head, and I'm really seeing where I'm absolutely done. I'm so done with this one aspect, and it's time for me to zoom in on that, and it's time for me to maybe do some mind mapping, do some exploring around it, unpick it a little bit. Or you might find that you're just drawn to shut down. I just need to shut down. I need to sleep more. I need to be antisocial, or whatever it is that you need to do. Just paying attention to that and knowing that it's completely okay for you to honour anything that happens to be there. But knowing that as you start to emerge, you will find things coming in for you. It's not necessarily that you have to go hunting. If it feels like too much, it's probably the wrong way. Sometimes it's better to do nothing and stop efforting and just almost allow the process to come to you rather than you go hunting for that process. I think there's a point as well where you realise that the discomfort ratio has shifted. So the thing that you've been really uncomfortable about doing or changing, because reasons why that are personal to you as to why that's particularly hard for you. And then it's that realization that the pain of staying where you are is actually worse than the discomfort of moving forward. And it's like the balance just tips the scales, and you think, I just can't bear to stay with it like that. So I'm going to have to reach to that next ledge that takes me into that next space with things. And then you start to find that the courage fuels that, whether it's to take an action or, you know, to change something, whatever it might be. Or even this renewed motivation to do something in your life that you've never been able to do before. And it could be really simple, yet very powerful and poignant for you. Really, all these things are significant. If they matter to you, then they matter. So you'll start to get then these moments of lightness, these moments of renewed vigour, these new ideas. You might just wake up and think, oh my goodness, I feel like something's lifted. Or you might have a moment where a song comes on the radio and it just clears you, it changes your mood, and then you're off, and whatever your new plan is, it's almost like this new software has been installed. And yeah, the lightness has come in. You might notice that you've got a different perception about something, or a new relationship with yourself in some way. We're constantly growing and developing and changing and weaving and all the things. So if you are in a dark period of the soul, sending you so much love and absolute solidarity. They're not easy, and just comfort yourself, tend to yourself, be gentle with yourself. You catch yourself being mean, then give yourself a talking to, because it's not fair, it's not necessary. We're all learning, we're all figuring things out. Sometimes one theme takes several dark periods of the soul to get through all the different layers, and that's okay. You know, that is all right, that is perfectly reasonable. You might be cutting cords that have been there for your entire life and beyond, who knows. But yes, I'm just sending you all tons and tons and tons of love, and yeah, hang in there. If this is you, it will pass. Lots of love.